Pay attention to the Mr. Ramesh lesson.
Good morning, everybody. Today we're learning about writing for IELTS. And we have a presentation here. First, let's start with understanding what does IELTS means. International English Language Testing System. And there are 4 parts to it, as you know. We have listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Let's go to the next slide, please. Next slide would be writing for IELTS. There are 2 different tasks that you have to do when writing for IELTS. Number 1, task 1 is describe some visual information. They give you some charts or any visual stimuli so that you could look at it and then make comparison. The second part of it is responding to the point of view. So that you compare 2 different things and tell them your point of view. Let's go to the next one, please. The next slide, please. Okay, what is the purpose of writing? Before you actually start writing, you have to know what's the purpose of writing for IELTS. So, 1 is cognitive skills. Do you understand what you're seeing? That's the number 1. Number 2 is, can you describe what you're seeing in English? That's the second aspect. And the third is, do you have the reasoning to compare 2 different things? And what do you see when you look at something or talk about something? So these are very important aspects of writing, so that you just don't write anything. Now, officially it says, to assess how you write and respond appropriately, organize ideas, and use a range of vocabulary and grammar accurately. We will break this down, how to write appropriately. We'll break it down one by one. Let's go to the next slide and find out what are some of those sections that you need to write. Okay, so first of all, a lot of people who are writing, they are thinking who are writing and English is not their first language. They usually think in their language and then they translate whatever they think and then they write or speak. Now, this could lead to some potential subject-verb disagreements. In English, you have to have the subject first, then the verb, then the object. So, when you say, I like pizza, I is the subject, like is the verb, pizza is the object. So you cannot say pizza I like or like I pizza. This is the formula to speak or write appropriately in the English language. Some other tips for you if you want to write appropriately. First is be stingy with words. That means use less words. Do not use a lot of words because the sentence becomes confusing. The second thing, don't use big words if you don't know them, because it only shows that you may know the word but you don't know how to use it. So some points would be deducted from that. The third thing is you write short sentences and to the point. Okay, you do not want to write a long sentence without any sort of care for what you're actually saying, just because you want to put more words there. The next thing is what your aim is in writing. Your aim is to get your point across and communicate. Use correct grammar, and in no point you're trying to impress people with the big words. Okay, so don't use big words if you don't know them. Let's go to the next one. Next slide, please. Okay, now there are 3 types of essays that they will ask you to write. One would be opinion. Excuse me. So, do you agree, disagree? What's the benefits and what are the disadvantages? And which situation is better? So you say, I think, I feel. That's what you do in an opinion part. The second one is not your opinion. So how that is, they're giving you two things. Is America better than Canada? So, is chocolate better than raspberry or than vanilla? What do people think? You have to compare them logically. You're not saying I think. You're saying chocolate is better because it's more delicious, more people like it. You have to give a scientific view to it. You can't just say I think. And there's no your opinion. It's just you have to state facts. And the third thing is an hybrid. Hybrid means a mix of two different things. So first state the facts. I think America or Canada is better because of these conditions. And then I think I like it, I like this or I like that. Okay? So there is a mix of two different things. Especially when there says no opinion and facts, you cannot talk about your opinions and I think and I feel. Okay, let's go to the next slide. The next slide. Okay, there are three things to remember in any writing. Okay, and these are introduction, body, and conclusion. Now, you could do this for any writing. Of course, I'm going to mention this about the essay, but any writing needs all of these three. So this you can organize your thoughts and that you get the higher marks. First, introduction, 3 to 6 sentences usually. It's not more than half a page. You could write 8 sentences, but if you have a longer paper. But for this, 3 to 6 sentences. The first thing that's going to be in the introduction is your thesis statement. Thesis statement is something, chocolate is the best food in the world. Or something else. I like pulov. Pulov is the best food in the world. And so that's your thesis. And everything you say after that has to prove your point, prove your thesis statement. Okay? Then you write a list of ideas. For example, if pulov is the best food in the world, it's nutritious, it's delicious, it has calories, it has this. So you have to mention all of this in the introduction so that when you go to the body, you're just saying pulov is delicious because of these. It is nutritious because of this. Each one of what you say has to have a different paragraph, okay? You cannot just write whatever, mix it up like that. So you have to give 2, 3, 4, whatever points that you need to prove, you have to mention it here. It's very, very important that you keep in mind to be clear, concise, write the right sentences, short sentences with not a lot of words, and remember the subject-verb agreements. So after your body basically would be one paragraph for each idea. So if you have 4 ideas you want to discuss here out of the 6 sentences, then you have to have at least 4 paragraphs. Each one separating and talking about just that, not about anything else, okay? And explaining that. And then the last part is your conclusion. Now, in your conclusion, you are summarizing your main ideas and then you give your point of view or your opinion if they asked for it. Okay, so that's how you summarize this whole thing. Just please remember, and I cannot reiterate this enough, do not use big words if you don't know how to use them, because it only shows that your grammar is weak. And you're being judged on the grammar. If I'm looking at your paper, I'll just say that you're misusing the word and I'll take points off. Make short sentences. What you want to do is just communicate an idea in simple words. You don't have to use big words. And I cannot reiterate this enough for you. Use simple words and then write concisely, short, summary, and make it to the point. And at the end, you just summarize the whole points. Because it is the essay is about 200 and 250 words maximum, So 200 to 250 words is one A4 paper. So you could just write concisely. In this, what it shows is even if you write 4 or 5 sentences, it shows how you're using the words appropriately and correctly. I hope you have learned something. So maybe in the future, what I could do is take a topic that you choose or a topic that I choose, and then I'll write different things about it so that you understand how to channel your thoughts properly so that everything is in its own place. So I hope I see you next time. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.
If you're in here, hey, Jorbe, if you're in here, thank you so very much.
Sir.
It was really good lesson for our beautiful viewers, because these informations are really neat, and thank you for giving us.
It was really beneficial and informative IELTS lessons, yeah?
Yes, you're right.
So